couldn't have gone, we're in a legal situation, all that sort of stuff. There's nothing to stop the councillor from coming to this meeting, frankly. At least they could have heard it, Sorry. Well, exactly.
I think so. Well, he's saying the councillors are doing what they're told. Yes, okay, yes, it is true. Councillors do have this thing where they will say, and they've said to us, if we do this, when there's money involved, this process has invited money to the table. And where there's money to be available on 2 issues in the county at the moment, we're facing this from the council saying, oh, but if we do this, we'll be sued. This is bullying at corporate and that level. If they do not stop and intervene and stand up for the community at an early stage, then when? Do you know, if they allow bullying and they allow that process, say, oh, well, somebody will sue us if we step out of this. When do they ever stop? Who's in control here? Okay, anything else? Anybody else got questions, comments? Questions, comments?
I just want to absolutely stress, we have a democracy, we vote councillors. When the process, as it's described, is then returned to the council for their consideration, their decision should be final. So it's absolutely imperative that you speak to them, persuade them, don't get angry, very, very sweetly cynical if necessary, but they've got to listen. The executive is subordinate. Any questions on that?
We are speaking to the councillors. In practical terms, what are we to say to them? I mean, we just said, are we saying just stop this process and start again?
That's it. It's actually on the slide up there. We need the councillors to abandon EOI is expression of interest process. Or when it comes to be presented in front of them, that they vote no. They vote to go and engage in this proper process and bring what is a community asset and what has been publicly funded and belongs to the community and is needed by the community and has so much potential for the community to come to the community and not allow it to just be passed off to benefit a private investor.
Tell them to read their own community development plan.
Tell them to read their own community development plan. That's exactly. I'd rather you said this, not me.
Yes, very true.
Tell them to read their own community development plans and then make a decision about what they should do, and it should be obvious to them.
Yeah.
Is there any posters available that we can distribute?
Not at the moment, but yeah, we haven't got at the moment.
Well, actually, for those who haven't been at the meeting but who use Necarne on a regular basis, maybe we could put some flyers up around there that would make others aware of it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. We are kind of relying on Facebook and social media to try and get people networked and things like that. So. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. But do talk in your local churches, talk in your local community groups as well. There's nothing like somebody that somebody knows. You need the relationships, those relationships to communicate. Talk to people that you know. Anybody else? We'll have a meeting in 2 weeks' time. You have to ask Joe, can we have a room again? There's Joe. Joe, can we have a room in 2 weeks' time? A little bit of peer pressure on Joe now. Okay, folks. I think, unless you've got any other questions for Laurie or Donal or anybody else, thank you very much for coming. Please come to the next meeting. Please come forward if you can volunteer to be in a steering committee or anything like that. Any particular skills or resources particularly welcome. But thank you very much for all your input and coming along.